Simon and Kathleen Eiserman are gambling their savings buying and renovating this house. They need to make £7 grand if they're going to afford the house they want to buy, and they're hoping to make it in just 12 weeks. They only have a £7 grand budget to do all the work, so the plan is to take advantage of Simon's flexible hours so that he can do the majority of the work himself. It's week 1, and they have made their first big decision and decided to go with Danny the builder. He is charging £4.5 grand to do all the installation and major works.
There's certain things which were brought up in the survey, and they'll need to be done for, obviously, the next person who's going to buy it for their survey. But at the end of the day, it's how much they want to spend, and I don't think they really want to go that extra bit. They're just trying to sort of get away with it as cheap as they can, do the real bare necessities, and leave the rest.
It's all hands on deck as Simon acts as Danny's labourer and Kathleen calls in their friends. When you're first starting out developing houses, persuading your friends to help out is a good way of saving money on labour costs. But before work progresses too far, they're going to have to make a decision about whether to build a new corridor to access the bathroom or not.
We can't afford to take risks because we haven't got that much money to play with, so it's a no.
I never really was that keen on the corridor idea because I just think that it would have been too much money and too much hassle to do that. People are used to this style of house in Norwich. It's probably what a lot of people have grown up with, and I don't think that's a problem. Perhaps in another marketplace, if, for example, if you wanted to rent the property out, then it may have been an issue. But for this particular project, I don't think it's viable, really.
I know that Simon is making a mistake. He's narrowing his buyers to people who are used to this kind of layout. And in fact, this house round the corner recently sold for £12,000 more than Simon and Kathleen's proposed asking price because the owners had created a second access to the bathroom. By not adding the corridor, Simon and Kathleen can only market their property to a young couple or a single person living alone. They're closing off the sharers market.
Work is getting on top, so I've got to try and do more work at the weekend to stop me losing my profit that I'm making on the house. So just getting that balance again.
Simon had promised me faithfully he'd be in here every day, chipping off plaster and doing all sorts of things, and he hasn't.
Having a full-time job and developing property is never easy. The rewards are worth it, but you'll need to be totally dedicated if you really want to succeed.
Just because you're busy doesn't mean that I'm not busy as well.
I work longer hours, don't I? So it's easy for you to come up here
Under
and say
normal
at 5:30.
circumstances, I am working just as much hours as you at the moment because of the new financial year. Next month will be a little bit less fraught, and we're able to get some more work done up here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But every week, month that goes by, it's costing us money.
The key to Simon and Kathleen's success is timing. They've got a mortgage on the property, so the longer the project takes, the more money it's going to cost them. It's week 3 and Danny's men are replacing the leaky roof. It's time to start thinking about buying a new kitchen. If it seems premature, believe me, it isn't. One of the first things you should do when developing a property is to think about what kind of kitchen you want to install. Simon and Kathleen have allocated £1,000 towards theirs. Kitchens can take a while to be delivered, so decide early on what you want. They are an important selling feature in any house, so getting this wrong could lose you your sale. The first important rule is to shop around and search out the best deals. There are always sales on and discounts to be had. Don't be seduced into buying lots of units. You can save money by leaving spaces for the washing machine and the fridge. It's really worth remembering as well when you come to buy your kitchen that you don't necessarily need to buy the cornice and the palmet, the piece around the top and the piece around the bottom of the wall units. At all times, keep your style simple and your colour neutral. Tart up cheap units with fancy doorknobs. It's best to have a thicker worktop because the thicker the worktop is, the more expensive it looks.
Right.
Your kitchen must reflect the style and price of your property. This trendy apartment has been developed for the expensive end of the market. Any potential buyer will expect a well-designed and quality-made kitchen. But like this recently developed property, Simon & Catlin are marketing their property towards a first-time buyer who is not going to expect anything so fancy. This is exactly the sort of kitchen that Simon & Catlin need to install. They are also taking advantage of the free services that almost all kitchen shops offer and getting their kitchen designed for nothing. By following some of my cost-saving rules like shopping around, buying fewer units, leaving spaces for the fridge and washing machine, and not spending money on unnecessary extras, Simon & Catlin managed to buy all their kitchen units plus an oven and a hood for only £900, saving them £100 of their allocated budget. The kitchen they buy is sold flat-packed and can be bought off the shelf, but it will need to be assembled by Simon.